So I was intrigued by claims I've read that the Strymon Iridium's headphone out gave better results when recording than the main outputs, and I decided I'd put that to the test. Here I have a punch amp dialed up with a stereo impulse response from the commercial pack that Ownhammer sells. I'll be recording the headphone out and the main out simultaneously, and I've attempted to keep everything in each signal path as similar as possible. I'm using a radial JPC direct box on each signal path. The headphone out, of course, is an 1/8 inch stereo cable that the JPC supports directly without any adapters. And then the main output, of course, is instrument 1/4 inch cables. The XLR cables, I have the same make and model, all 4 XLR cables. And let me show you the preamp I'm running into. This is a Focusrite unit with 4 identical ISA preamps. They're set up the same way for this test. The only difference is you can see here the headphone channels have lower gain setting. That's in order to get the level match correct between the main out and the headphone output. Now I've recorded a riff into the DAW simultaneously for both Iridium outputs. The first track in blue is the main output, and the second track in orange is the headphone output. I've taken that one recording and I've copied and pasted it and spread it out through the project so that when I play from start to finish, the comparisons will be made. First time through the riff will be the main output, second time through the headphone output. The third time through it will alternate between both signal paths, and then the fourth time through they'll both play together. But I've inverted the phase of the headphone output, so that's kind of a null test where the only information you'll actually hear there will be the audio that's different between the two files. And I also bring up this frequency spectrum analyzer so you can watch that as it plays as well. Well, my conclusion is that for the way I record things, there's no significant difference between whether I record with the main output or the headphone output. My ears couldn't tell a difference at all as I was playing through the different comparisons. And then when it got to the null test, there was obviously some low frequency content there, which is different. It was centered around like 150 hertz and it was pretty low. Now, that's not unexpected because there are variables in the signal paths. For one, there's a headphone amp on the headphone output. That'll make a difference. And then the cables coming out of the Iridium, getting into the DI boxes, those are different. So, I didn't expect that these would null out perfectly. If they had nulled out perfectly, then something probably would have been suspect in my test. But they did come very close to nulling out. There was no high frequency, mid frequency content at all in the null test, and just that, like I said, that little bit of low frequency. But I think the most important thing is just using your ears, and I can tell you, just being in this room and playing the guitar and listening to both and monitoring both, I really can't tell any difference at all. Now that's not to say you can't tell a difference. You're in your situation, you have your recording equipment, you have your techniques. They may somehow be suited more to getting a better result from one output or the other. And if that's the case, then by all means, do it your way, do it the way that it sounds best to you. I just wanted to show whether from an objective standpoint, whether there was any real difference between those outputs, and I don't think there are. So thanks for watching, and I hope this was useful to you.